I have a closing at 11, so I have to leave.
Unfortunately.
Okay, the appointment of Jim Burnett to the Library Board of Directors, and I think Mr. Burnett, it begins in December, doesn't he? Is he still away?
He's still away right now, so he would
He
actually,
is-
I think he's planning to come to the December meeting.
He is the newest commissioner's appointee. Board member. And we can thank Charlotte Zulick for helping us get Mr. Burnett.
Yay.
You will love him.
That's what I hear. All I hear is good things about him.
Need a motion?
I don't think so.
No, he's a commissioner's appointee.
Appointee,
so.
okay.
Okay, approve the minutes of October 15th, 2012.
Motion?
Second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There the ayes have it. Director's report, Ellen.
Any questions on anything? We're still waiting for the reimbursement funds from, for 2 checks totaling over $500,000. They're in processing. We've been told the checks just haven't been issued yet for the reimbursement from the LSA.
Is somebody waiting for payment?
No, because we take from the interim loan that we had to get.
Oh, right,
Because of
okay.
one of the grants, you had to have an interim loan so that the cash flow is there.
Good,
So,
okay.
yes, so that's working out fine. Except, the sooner the checks come in, the less interest we'll have to pay on those interim loans. And what we do is we only transfer whatever amount we need to pay each 2-week
Right.
period to pay the bills, so.
Under the new accounting software, you know, as we've been discussing for months now, we're going to be doing our own accounting in-house to save money. It'll save us almost $19,000 a year. We initially talked about Sage, so we're going to be using QuickBooks.
Yeah, much easier.
Yeah.
The transition will be much easier, because that's what the accounting firm uses, and they're willing to help us with the transition
Right.
over, so, you know, that'll be.
And a letter did go out to them.
Good.
Right, explaining everything,
Right.
and, you know, we can follow that up with a thank you, because they're very good about this, so. We will be, you know, purchasing, our QuickBooks is a little bit cheaper than Sage, on top of everything, not that much, but a little bit cheaper than Sage, and, we will be getting the new computer that we need for, Suzanne,
Suzanne.
who will be doing it, so,
Effective
that should
when?
all. We'll be taking over as of January 1st with the new ones.
Mhm.
However, the accounting firm has agreed to do all of the year-end things that usually come in January.
Good.
So,
Good.
you know, everything's.
Scott's good to
You know,
work
it
with.
should work out, well, and they're willing to, you know, all of the old records will be transferred
Mhm.
over because it is QuickBooks.
Good.
Oh, and I recommend we use Julian Kirk to do our audit.
Oh, right.
So,
Absolutely.
does
Yeah.
anybody like to make a motion?
I would love to.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
That's KIRK.
Okay.
Yes, he's the one who did it last year.
Yeah. So I'll let him know.
J-U-L-I-A-N.
J-U-L-I-A-N. Treasurer's report. Bill.
So far, the money is coming in dribs and drabs, which is a good thing. And Betty, we have big expectations for the dinner dance. Elspeth, when you were there handing out, giving me some posters, I gave one to Jen Murphy, who has the Zumba classes next door.
Right, yeah.
Just 10 ladies
Right. We've
so
already got
far
that.
coming to the
Wow.
dance, and maybe more.
Wonderful.
We've
So
only
that's good
received
news.
the 3, so far from them, we've received 3 tickets,
That's
but I
great,
did,
yeah.
you know, I did get the email, you know, asking to set up that table, so that should be really good.
Good, I'm still working on the bank for their
They're
sponsorship.
doing a ladies' night out, so
Good.
they're looking to have some fun.
Good.
Senta, isn't there something you want to say about last week?
No.
Not a specific?
About the check?
Yes.
That we got a sufficient sum from Skip Breaker.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Substantial amount of money.
Substantial.
Substantial.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Big bucks.
And Ellen, I'll be contacting you next week to schedule a finance committee meeting next week.
Yes, we do.
need to
We
do
really
that.
need to do what's the end of this year and projections for next year. So I'll have that. So
Yeah,
we'll do
just
the
during-
finance. Now, I will be in next Tuesday. I was planning to take a few days off next week. If people are available on Tuesday, I'm coming in to the office to do some things that need to be done, but.
Well, maybe next Wednesday. Tuesdays aren't good. Your first day back, so maybe next Wednesday, see
Well,
what that looks like on your schedule.
Actually, I was off that whole week
Oh, you
except
are?
for Tuesday. I have a
Then we'll
lot
do
of
the
comp
first week
days
in-
and
first
vacation
week in
time
December.
to try to, I'm trying to use things up.
First week in
So the
December.
following week, the first week of December,
What about it?
the first week of December, we could schedule
Sure.
a finance meeting.
That Wednesday at 10 o'clock, whatever date that is.
Okay, that's usually the first commissioners meeting.
Oh.
If someone else can go to that.
When is that, this Wednesday?
No, the.
December 5th, you mean?
December.
Is that the Wednesday, first Wednesday?
Is December 5th.
Do you wanna-
That's-
do you wanna do
will
it that
be a
Friday then?
commissioners-
I'll go if it's December 5th.
What, the commissioners meeting? Okay, just so that we have a presence
Okay,
there,
that's
because, and also, it's nice to find out what's going on in the community. I really like to.
Right,
you
and
know,
are they supposed to give us anything?
No,
Oh.
no, but I,
Okay. I'll go anyway.
All right, Wednesday, the 5th at 10 a.m. at the bank?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the Gregory's donation, that's for the construction of the new building.
right.
Good.
Yeah. Anything other under treasurer's report? Okay. Fundraising committee.
Well, we're plowing ahead. Elspeth has a presentation that she'll give to you in a little while. We're working on getting the silent auction table filled, and Dina's cakes, and sponsors, and advertisers. And it's difficult because we're all dipping into the same pool. You ask one organization or restaurant for a cake, it's difficult to go back and say, and then can we also have a gift certificate for $100?
That's what I was gonna ask at the same time.
So, yeah, so we're getting it done, and it's gonna be really great. I think it's gonna be wonderful. So,
A big push for this. More and more people, even my neighbors and everybody, are so thrilled with the construction of this building. And they keep bringing that up, how
I
it's
know.
really evolving and it fits and it looks good. And for a new building, it fits. Everybody keeps saying that over and over. So people are really excited about it.
That's all I heard Friday night from everybody.
Yeah.
You know, people who were, people who didn't, don't even come to the library were saying how beautiful it is, and people who come all the time, they're so impressed, I think, now that the stone work is up
Exactly.
in the columns.
Yep.
And it's really taking shape. It's a beautiful building. Pam said herself, she said it's, looking so good.
Good seeing him.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
now, when you walk in the front door, the
Yeah.
first room to the right, it's the friends room, correct?
Yes.
Henry is coming to the dinner dance, and he has gone into a lot of people are going in and looking around, and he said, is that gonna be our room? I said, yes, it is. He said, wow, that's a big room. That's your room. So,
And the one next to it is the conference room, and then comes tech services and the administrative offices and so forth.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it is. It's, once the walls are up, it's gonna be much more easy for people to define.
Yeah, that's it. Should do something soon.
yeah.
Anything else about fundraising? The ones I have from the Bushkill Inn,
Yeah, that.
which was the old Pokemon, they gave a dinner for two at the steakhouse, $100 value for the silent auction.
Okay, I'll take
Oops.
Nice article in the paper over the weekend
Yeah,
about
wasn't
that.
it a nice article? They did a beautiful job.
Have you been in there?
Yeah, yes. I
Yeah.
went to the grand opening, really nice.
Looks
What
beautiful.
paper was it in?
Pocono Record.
Yeah, and if I could, they gave me 2 hours' time on that. And the general manager, he was very generous with his time
Wow, that's great.
Very
and
nice.
showed everything that I guess is worth showing, so.
That's where the dinner dance should be next year.
Mhm.
Well, the Chamber of, the Great Pocono Chamber of Commerce is having their holiday mix there in December, so, I mean, that'll be a good, you know, that's really the first thing of that type they'll be having there, so it'll be an interesting gauge right there.
How many can they accommodate?
I don't remember, they have 2 dining rooms, I think the first one is, what did you say, about, I believe it's up to 300, but that's for wedding receptions too and things like that, I believe. It's big,
I'll check a ride now.
beautiful.
Okay, new facilities. I had a call from Tom Hopp of the Milford Historic Preservation Society, who are interested in our sign and designing and helping us financially.
Wow.
So we need to get a copy of the town's ordinance on signs and ARB's ordinance.
Ellen, what happened to the Wayne Bank sign? Did that blow away somewhere?
I don't know. They keep moving signs around. It might have blown, something happened to
Something
the
hit that
sign.
sign.
Yeah, something happened to the big sign. And I don't know what happened to the Wayne Bank sign. It could be the construction crew might have moved it.
All right.
But we'll have to try to find out. We'll call Zytone and see what happened.
Also, the contractor got the figures together, which will be submitted to the enhancement committee for this, them doing the sidewalk, our sidewalks into the driveway and the bases for the street lamps.
So
And then we'll take it from there.
they would continue their sidewalk?
Continue our sidewalk, what we're paying for, into the driveway, and then they will put in the bases for the street lamps.
And that's, so.
No lamps, just the bases.
And that's not going to be a problem.
No, I'm confused. Is it going to be their sidewalk
No.
that is gonna continue through? So it's gonna be our
Our
sidewalk,
Our
we're
sidewalk.
putting in ourselves?
Right.
Because they're not going to do it.
Correct.
But is there any way that you could get me the cost, please, of what we can expend for both?
So what we're spending.
Our
for what-
budget,
for
you
what
mean our budget?
I'd like to know what our budget is for the
Streetscape.
sidewalks and for the lights. And I assume that's not gonna be done for a few more months anyway, is that correct?
Yeah, I don't see that happening
No,
this
so
spring.
I would like to have an opportunity.
And then would you like to know what their budget would be?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know what the difference is, to see if perhaps we can find a donor.
And the reasoning behind the fact that they're not putting it in is that they did not plan on the library being here, exactly.
Well, the enhancement committee was given a $450,000 grant from the Delaware River Joint Toll Bridge Commission. Because you remember, back before we went out to bid, I know some people who worked there, and I knew they did projects like this, so I contacted them about doing our streetscape. I was told then that they'd already given the grant for the entire East Hartford Street. And the reason the library's property wasn't done at that time was because they knew there was going to be construction. It wasn't done.
So why can't it be done now?
Because they did not escrow the funds for that property, is what I was told.
So they had the money to do it, but it's
They
already
had.
been spent.
They
don't,
spent it all.
they don't, I don't think they have the money now.
Well, they
spent
spent
it.
it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I think it's important to know what the difference is, and break it down in 2 parts. The difference, what it's gonna cost to put in our sidewalks, and I wanna know what it would cost to put in their sidewalks.
So if the enhancement committee did the streetscape, the complete streetscape, what that cost would be.
Right, and what it would cost for them, what their total cost is just to do the sidewalks, so that then we can tell the difference between our amount and their amount, and the same for the light fixtures.
Okay.
Because it would be very nice if our light fixtures were the same as everyone else's up and down the whole community.
Now, Zytone gave them the cost just to do what I just explained. And I just print this off my mind, yeah, so this. 1060. So to do, tie in our sidewalks into the driveway and the lamp bases is $10,444. But I think we should find out what it would cost if they did complete streetscape to their standards.
And if they don't, what do these bases of the future lamps look like? Can people trip over them?
Well, that is a concern of our engineer, that these are, they would be trip hazards. And I brought that up to a member of the committee when I spoke to him.
Yeah, that's why I think it's important to find out how much we have allotted for, I assume we're still, are we doing 3 lights or the same number of lights? Do we have scheduled the same number of lights that they have bases?
Our lights are different and they weren't out along the street. Do I remember that correctly? Our lights weren't along the street like they are on East Hartford, but we have lights along the pathway.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we don't even have.
No, they're like $15,000.
So
Yeah.
why would we put those there?
If we're not.
Well, because then we can raise the money later.
Oh, well,
You can't raise money
I
now.
think we should find out how much it will cost them to put the 3 lights on their 3 bases.
Okay.
Well, they were running about 5,000 a lamp.
I just want to.
That's what they used to do.
I want a hard figure.
Yeah, did somebody tell me 15,000?
I thought it was 5.
Is it 5?
5,000. So that
5,000
would be,
apiece.
if they're putting 3 on, it would be 15,000.
Oh, maybe that's where I'm getting it.
So does that include the bases or not?
Yes,
Yeah.
It does. So if they're putting the bases in already, then can we not then deduct the bases?
They are $750 apiece, the bases.
So the lamps then are over 4,000 each.
Wow.
So that means the lamps themselves are about 4,200.
But then they're not doing the sidewalk, so it's not gonna be the bluestone that everybody
No.
else has. We're just gonna have the cement.
But I want to, that's what I'm
Right,
saying, I
what-
want to find
what
out
would
how
it
much
cost
we've
to have the
allocated,
bluestone?
and then I want to know how much it will cost them to put in the same sidewalk. This is on either side.
And if they're already doing the 2 driveways, then, you know.
And are the
then
driveways,
that's-
are we paying for the
No,
driveways?
they've
Are they-
offered,
No,
they've
we were
offered.
just gonna do blacktop.
Oh, now have they taken care of driveways all up in
Oh,
the
yeah,
street as
yeah.
well?
But didn't they offer to do the 2 driveways? Or
Yes.
are they're gonna do it in blacktop or in
No.
those little squares?
Little squares.
Okay.
They're design standards.
So also then that should lessen the amount of sidewalk.
Is
Well-
there that big a difference between our sidewalk and theirs? I mean, really?
It's cement versus bluestone.
Substantially less.
Yeah.
But
Unless you're
visually,
donor.
is there, can you tell the difference visually?
Of course.
I mean, if a person's really looking and I mean, you know, most people are not gonna maybe say, oh, look, it's a different sidewalk. You know, as long as it's clear and, you know, not rutted or anything like that. But it will look different. If you look at the whole sidewalks, how
Block.
bluestone looks, it's does look a little bit different.
Better than it
plain
does
cement.
now.
Yeah.
Right, well, even even the cement sidewalk will look better than it is now, but.
Because personally, I would like to see bluestone sidewalks and it goes right into the driveway sidewalk, because then you don't have the risk, which is something else the engineer brought up, of when you have the freeze, you have that part
Shifting.
shifting.
Right.
Now, when will the driveways go in? Will they wait until spring?
That'll be one of the last things.
Good,
Yeah.
okay. So the whole project can really wait till
Right.
spring. So we have a little bit of breathing time
Right.
in order to try to resolve this.
Yes.
And the lamps will be one of the last things too,
Yes.
right?
And the
Oh,
lamp
good.
bases won't go in
Yeah.
until spring either.
That's my understanding.
Right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now, are we the, other than the community house, we would be the only not-for-profit, right? All the others were businesses,
Businesses and private residents.
and so we're the only
We're the only,
not-for-profit.
we're the only one property on that street at this point.
But they're doing the sidewalks up to us and after us.
Mhm.
Have they already
Yes.
been put
They're all
in?
They're already done.
They're already
Everything is
done.
done, we're
That
the
street
only
is
one,
finished.
both sides of that street I've walked, at both sides, they're done, they were done a while ago, I guess. Ours is the only part that's not done.
Question.
Yeah.
That figure you cited for 10,444, is that the cost, the estimated cost of sidewalks, is that correct?
That's the pole bases, streetlight pole bases, installation of the concrete curb, and installation of 5-foot concrete sidewalk across the driveway. In lieu of asphalt.
But that's not the driveway, the sidewalk.
No.
That doesn't
No.
include the sidewalk.
No. Nope.
Okay.
All right, so I said about the sign and enhancement, and that's all I have on that right now. Friends.
Oh, I have one
Sure,
quick
go
question,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
So, even if we get them to put in the bluestone sidewalk, which will run across the front, we then will still put in the sidewalk up to the building, and that will be concrete? Or is that gonna be brick?
I think that's
I'm
concrete.
not sure what that is, I have to look at,
Have to look,
I
I
have to
don't
look at the
remember on
specs
it.
in the original contract book, see what they say.
Yeah, check that out, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't remember. Because I know we got the company that bought the bluestone for the building, company, it's a good deal. Everybody get a good deal on that.
If we can get them to put in the bluestone, it might be nice to put in bricks which people could donate and
Yeah.
put their names on.
Yeah.
And then forget the concrete totally, and that would be a very nice entrance.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? All right, friends?
Nothing really to report, we're all just poised to man the Friends room in the library because all of us have begun talking about taking turns and being there to sell books. And we're not accepting any more books right now, just a few on a daily basis. Can drop them off and recycle them as it were.
So you think you have enough to
Open it.
open it?
You would be
With something
surprised.
there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do the Friends understand that there will not be big book sales anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of excited about that.
I bet they are.
What we need to start doing though is also lining up people who are willing to staff that bookshop, because the library staff cannot do it. So
That's
we-
true, but I've
no.
worked in libraries where you don't always have to have the staff member
Right,
there.
right,
So
we may
because-
not, but it all depends, I mean, it's, whether the Friends, if they're gonna be in charge of that room,
Mhm.
there could be some, people lifting items, taking them out, is,
Yeah,
staff.
definitely, I think there's enough Friends that.
Yeah, I mean, there
Yeah.
should be enough
There
Friends that there are people who are
certainly
willing
are.
to staff.
And there will,
but-
I would like to maybe donate a few hours a week, and I think maybe other people.
Betty,
Betty's the first one next year.
I think other people would be willing to
I
do it too.
have one question on that. I assume that their books will be displayed on a bookshelf, and the people, now will that bookshelf be enclosed within their room, so that when no one is there, the doors to their room will be
the
closed?
room is
and-
open, you can keep the room open, plus, the people, it's right as you walk in the main entrance and it's right by the circulation desk.
But are there doors so that if there's no one there to man those shelves and the things to sell, would there be doors so that they can be closed, so?
Yeah, but
Well,
you
there'll
don't
be a
wanna do
door to
that,
the
you
room
don't
that,
wanna do
that's
that.
what I'm asking.
there'll be a door, that room will have a door on it that
Yeah,
can
but
be
you
closed.
just,
Okay.
you
If-
believe me,
if it-
I've worked in libraries, public libraries for many years. And we would have carts out in the vestibule, and people would come.
Right, right, and we have that now, we put them
Yes,
outside
we
on
do.
the porch, you know.
That's
with the
right.
book. And, you know, again, it's honor system, and you might have a
Absolutely.
dishonest person who takes something, but the friends need to be aware that,
Of
you know,
course.
that's always a possibility.
They are,
But there's
and-
no one who's gonna be walking out with a box of books, you
No,
know, I mean,
and I
you know.
volunteer at the library, and people continuously come back in and say, oh, just saw this walking out, and came back and visited all of them.
But I think it's nice to have a person there smiling and
course.
greeting the people, you know, whenever possible, because it creates a, you know, a nice little rapport.
There'll be a little desk and chair.
There'll be a desk, and I'm thinking even the Cirque desk that we have in Milford, since we're getting a new ribbon-shaped Cirque desk, the Cirque desk from Milford could be moved into there
Sure.
as a
Okay.
counter
Good.
for the people who, you know, are working
Right. Good.
in there.
Okay.
And you might want other items eventually. We could sell T-shirts, we could sell.
Latte machine.
No, well, there could be you know, you could decide to sell pens, pencils, whatever, you know, have, as time goes on and see how it works out. It doesn't have to just sell,
Put it in a
books.
carry machine, so.
All right, never mind. I've also had experience with those, so.
the spilling.
No, it ends up, it gets to be, you know, it's a continuous thing. It's best just to have the place open, people can browse, drop off books. And the main thing is that it's available to the public. That's the most
Dunkin'
important thing.
Donuts is right next door if people want.
Right.
Right. Well, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Anything else, sir? Okay, Pam?
Well, actually, I don't have much to report. This is kind of a quiet time for the district. The only thing is we're working on our summer reading workshop, and that's going to be February 21st. And I'll send out more information when I have it.
I'm sorry, we missed one of the programs, due to a conflict.
The trustee one, yeah.
Right, how was it? We're sorry we had to miss that.
I talked about that last month.
Yeah, and
That
did
one
you?
last month, right, that the main speaker unfortunately was delayed, his flights were delayed, so the main speaker didn't come, and he does say he owes us a workshop at some point in the future. But they had a really good, the second whole part of it was on fundraising, which was a very interesting thing of what different libraries are doing, and you know, so that part of it was
Well, we
good.
written up a nice report and passed it.
Well, I discussed, I was gonna do a report, but I discussed it, so I
Discussed
didn't
it.
think it was necessary to
No.
do a written report.
I'm
I was
just kidding
talking
you.
about
I'm
it
just
last
kidding.
month. So, anyway, but if Jamie LaRue does come, again, I think it'd be an opportunity for a lot of us to go, because he's nationally known.
Yeah,
in the
definitely.
industry.
Okay, new business. Does anyone have anything? We're gonna have an executive session following this meeting about the changes we're making in Lake Waxahachie. Nothing's firm, so we need to discuss it.
Any comments from the public?
We have public comments.
Couple of quick questions.
Sure.
Who's the current accounting firm that you're using?
Meyer and Meyer.
And Senta, the check you were talking about was Skip Gregory?
Skip Gregory, Randolph Gregory.
Well, it's Mr. and
Skip and
Mrs.
Skip.
Add her too.
Skip.
Yeah,
It's
Skip
Skip
and
and
Lorraine.
Lorraine.
And Lorraine.
Don't forget
I won't forget
I'll be
And is the amount private, or can you tell us how much they gave?
He wanted
He wanted
to
it to be kept.
Private, okay.
But it was substantial.
Substantial.
Substantial is fair to say, yes.
I'm sure eventually the number will float out, but for right now. I
And
know I did too.
Well, then forget it.
Oh, it's already over.
If the Mahjong crowd knows.
Well, that's before we knew.
I know, well, you blame me.
Well, I didn't know it was supposed to be a secret either, so I said something too.
I had promised the people up in Greeley, where I'm from, to sit here and listen and keep my mouth shut.
Oh, Neil.
But
you
anybody
can't
that
do
knows me knows I cannot keep my mouth. So what I'm saying is, what we're concerned about, you're gonna go into executive session I would like you to very seriously think about the Greeley Library. We're, from what I'm told, we're willing to make whatever concessions we have to keep that library going. Because it not only serves as our library there, it serves as, the ladies used to do knitting there and, or weaving and all this other things, and there's other things that, and that's basically it. So, if you're gonna have an executive session, I would, and this, Senator knows me for a lot of years, and, I'm 100% with your library. I had a lot of things to say about, roundabout ways about the new library. I think it's an excellent idea. And I'm glad you got your differences straightened out with what was